Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today, I want to welcome Dan Demers, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing with TBR, or Technology Business Research. Dan and I worked together for the same organization quite a while ago before we both found our home in the telecommunications industry. Technology Business Research, TBR, empowers the world's leading technology companies with the strategic insight, transformational frameworks, and essential market intelligence to scale smartly and drive profitable growth. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Great to connect with you again. Let's start this out with you talking a little bit about TBR and what services you guys offer.
Certainly. So there's really two main service offerings that we provide at TBR. The first and most well-known is deep vendor analysis of the key players in this case, telco, but we don't limit ourselves just to telco. So if you think of the major players, the vendors and the operators, the members of the ecosystem, the web scales, so folks all the way from Ericsson, Nokia, Huawei, AT&T, Vodafone, all of the major vendors and operators. We have business analysts who are dissecting their business models. They're tracking them quarterly, sitting in on conference calls, conducting on the record and sometimes off the record interviews with executives so that we can build actionable intelligence that gets used both by that peer set, but also other participants in the ecosystems. Often is the case, very small players, folks who are participating in the infrastructure services market or others, applications providers, so that they can understand best-in-class business performance, what exactly is making the winners win, why are the laggards falling behind, what are the investments they're making, what kind of resource attribution and allocations they make. So that's the core base of what TBR does, that regular stream of actionable intelligence with that business-first lens. And then the other thing we do is often partner with our customers to help build financial models, really tearing apart the P&L using proprietary modeling methodologies and uncovering operating margin, profitability, cost expenses for peers, for competitors, really giving folks a very deep competitive advantage when they can understand exactly how vendors are operating and where they're profitable and often where they're not.
That's great. I mean, you answered the next question, which how does your service benefit your clients? But let's dig a little deeper inside of what is the ideal client profile of the folks that you're working with?
So our typical client, and it really ranges from a 35-person startup working with towers in Western United States and Canada, or the global multinational, multi-line massive vendors. So our history and legacy was established being of service to IBM and AT&T, the very, very large vendors. And as our expertise has grown, we've really begun to partner with folks responsible for product marketing, product management, finance, any aspect or role in which having that validated outside-in perspective on the performance of a peer, of a partner, of a leading anchor vendor in an ecosystem can help give them an advantage.
That's great. A fantastic answer. I can imagine that many of the viewers of the Top Gun Show are going to want to learn more. What's the best way for them to follow up with you? And you got any kind of special trial offer or anything for Top Gun Show viewers?
It's a great leading question, Steve. Thanks. Yes, in fact, we've partnered with you to create a one-of-a-kind free access trial for 90 days. Viewers of the Top Gun Show, there's a link that you can provide here in the comments section. Just click that link, go to the landing page, and give us your email address. We'll give you access 90 days. This is research that vendors are paying upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars to receive. And for guests, members, audience members of the show, we're happy to give them free access for 90 days.
Well, thank you, Dan. And that's another benefit of watching the Top Gun Show. Well, Dan, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show because we follow each other, and there are millions and millions of people watching this right now, and so that's a lot of people going to be signing up. Why don't you tell the viewers a little known, fun, or interesting fact about yourself?
Well, it's always fun. I had the privilege of traveling internationally, and I even lived overseas. So one thing that folks don't typically understand or know about me when they see me is that 我会讲中文。以前我住在台北, Taiwan. 如果我会讲，我听得懂，没问题. And sometimes being in situations where folks are speaking Chinese and I get to talk to them in ways that they would not anticipate someone who looks like me can communicate. So it's a lot of fun being on subways and at restaurants and eavesdropping when people don't realize that I understand a little bit of Chinese.
So do you go hang out in Chinatown just for fun, like on the weekends?
Maybe before COVID, yeah. It was. I've been in the subways in New York City and Boston and other major cities, and just listening in on folks as they, sometimes friends will look at other folks on the subway and they might say something, a little something funny, and they started talking about me, and I said, "Hey," in Chinese, I said, "Hey, I understand what you're saying. Be careful." And they were horrified. It was a very funny little moment.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, Dan, it's good to connect with you again on the show. Thanks for being a guest. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Happy to help.
And thanks for watching, everybody.